All right, a significant administrative reshuffle in the national capital. It's now drawn public and political attention. IAS officer Sanjeev Khirwar has been appointed the new Commissioner of the Municipal Corporation of Delhi. The 1994 batch officer returns to a high-profile role in Delhi. Remember, after being shunted to Ladakh in 2022 following a massive controversy. The appointment comes just ahead of the MCD's budget presentation. He grabbed headlines in 2022, as you would recall, due to an incident at the Agrad Stadium where Khirwar was accused of halting athlete practices to walk his dog, sparking allegations of a VVIP bias. While Khirwar denied the charges at the time, his return to a central role in Delhi's administration is expected to trigger, of course, fresh conversations, political reactions from the Aam Aadmi Party and Congress. So we are waiting to see what happens on that front. And for more on this, Sohail Seth has put out a post on X that read, "This Sanjeev Khirwar bloke shut the stadium down just so that he could go for a walk. Now this chap is Commissioner of the MCD. Imagine what havoc he will create. Ours is the only country where you get promoted for screwing up." That's what he's saying. For more on this, we have Ankur Sharma live with us. Ankur, of course, we were discussing this earlier as well. Everyone remembers that controversy back in 2022, that dog walking row that we're talking about here. Now it's almost as though people would see this as a reward 3 years on.
Yeah, certainly. So just for viewers, let me clarify the transfer was also not a punishment. In normal legality and in the procedural ways, the transfer is just a routine transfer. It is not a punishment. At that time also, he was just transferred with immediate effect. But we spoke to 2-3 batchmates of Sanjeev Khirwar. They also told us that, you know, after he completed 3 years, now there was no way to ask him to stay there, and certainly he was transferred back to Delhi. When we asked that, you know, why he was transferred back to the Delhi, where the place where he was, you know, he was into the controversy that to, you know, misusing Tyagaraja Stadium, which comes under DDA just for his dog. So they told us that, you know, certainly the government could have sent him to some other UTs as well, but it is the decision of the Ministry of Home Affairs to decide whether this officer will be moving to Delhi or some other place. And in this particular case also, at the time when he was transferred, the Union Home Ministry also said that we have sought a report from the Delhi government of regarding the news report of misusing the facility at Tyagaraja Stadium. So certainly, in this particular case, the punishment is certainly no. This transfer is certainly no punishment. And Sanjeev Khirwar, after completing 3 years, which is a normal procedure in 2016 guideline of transfer and posting of IAS and IPS officers of AGMUT cadre, which is you know, which deals with the officers in Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, Chandigarh, Delhi, Ladakh, and Andaman. So in this particular guideline also, they have not mentioned the exact tenure. Normally in normal scenario, it remains 2 years. Now he was already served in Ladakh for 3 years. So now government had to transfer him back to Delhi. But why only in Delhi? It is a matter of question.
Absolutely. Now, of course, if you're saying that transfer, thank you for clarifying that as well, in fact, that transfer wasn't any sort of punishment, perhaps that would only fuel to the controversy going forward, because then what were the repercussions after that entire dog row? For more on this, we have Nivedita joining us live. Nivedita, thank you so much for joining me. As Ankur was just telling us, that transfer that we saw about 3 years ago was not any sort of punishment. That is only perhaps going to add fuel to fire, because then now we're able to understand that there were no repercussions for his acts then.
Ankur rightly said him that this was not a punishment posting, and in his order it was not mentioned. However, it is important to note that the then Delhi government, which was under the control of Aam Aadmi Party, had written this to Home Ministry that he should be transferred and action should be taken against him. However, no action was taken against him. Only transfer was given to him, which was being seen as a punishment. However, if we can recall, basically, even at that time, several outrage was to play that said that Northeast and Ladakh should not be seen as a punishment posting for officials, especially in cases where we have seen lack of discipline. He himself has said that he used to take the dog to the stadium. Not that was not something that he termed as arrogant, but he said that he took there after the official timing was closed. So yeah, he did not acknowledge this at that time also. And about his posting in MCD, it is a very critical time for MCD right now. The budget is expected in next 1 week. January 28 has been scheduled for the presentation of the MCD budget, and there are a lot of things that the MCD is already facing, be it about stray dogs, illegal parking in the national capital. So, in terms of the city administration, his transfer is being seen as a welcome because he is somebody who understands Delhi, who has served as the revenue officer earlier under Manish Sisodia, who was then the finance minister. So yeah, all these things are being seen as something that will eventually help in smoothing things in Delhi further, as he had experience of serving in Delhi. And about the transfer and punishment, which you said, his wife, who was also involved in the same dog incident, she had been retired by the union government in 2023, a year after the incident took place. So yeah, we cannot really see these things as punishment posting, at least from what the Home Ministry is terming and what the administration is basically right now saying. But yeah, there are cases which goes against official in certain cases.
Absolutely. Now, Uncle, let me come to you on that as well. Then again, of course, there will be questions whether this is just apathy and if they just thought that perhaps 3 years is enough time and people would have moved on from that issue. But that really doesn't happen, does it?
No, certainly. At that time also, as my colleague also said, that several people raised question over, sending these two officers, including Khirwar's wife to Arunachal Pradesh and Khirwar to Ladakh, that why these places are becoming a dumping ground for officers who are facing controversies. So certainly, even after 3 years, he was sent back to Delhi. At that time also, people internally raised this issue that why he was transferred to Delhi, and now he has given the very sensitive post. If I tell you about the jurisdiction of MCD, MCD is basically apart from Lutyens Delhi, which comes under NDMC. All the parts of Delhi comes under MCD. MCD deals with the primary education as well as it's a civic body of Delhi. From all the parts of the Delhi, MCD is primarily responsible for everything. And as my colleague said, told us that it's a budget session is also MCD is supposed to present that to very sensitive post. That to a person who has already faced the controversy of misusing a stadium. That to, at that time, the stadium was not under him. Also, he was misusing for a longer period. The report also said, the news report also suggested that continuously he used to, visit that Tyagraj stadium along with his wife, and along with his dog. So
right.
This even after this controversy, he was transferred back to Delhi, and now he has been given the charge of MCD.